In this video, we'll be talking about Chapter 17, Pork and Pork Cookery. Pork comes from hogs. They're butchered at a very young age, so their meat is generally pretty tender, and it has a delicate flavor. 2/3 of all of the pork produced is cured. Think of all of the ham that you see in the grocery stores, the bacon that you see. The rest of it then is either processed or fresh. It can be cooked in just about any method, and it really has a mild flavor that adapts well to just about any seasoning you would want to add. In regards to nutrition, again, good source of protein, as well as the vitamin B category and other essential nutrients. It is high in fat though, especially saturated fat. It does have a lower fat content as a result of new breeding and feeding techniques. However, the fat content of pork is definitely a lot higher than you would have of veal or possibly lamb. The sodium content also contributes to the non-healthiness, so to say, of pork that's going to be found in your smoked, cured, and your preserved products. Here are the 5 primal cuts of pork. You'll see at the top in the shoulder area, this is going to be different. The shoulder is actually down towards the trotters or the feet. And then on top here, this Boston butt, this is what I use when I make my salami. It is a boneless piece, a nice compact square right on the top of the hog. It actually doesn't incorporate the shoulder blade, which is found in the lower portion. You have the loin running across the back. The loin is definitely the most commonly used piece in regards to making your cutlets, your pork chops. Again, there's a lot of different varying pieces you can find, and also throughout that would have the pork tenderloin in there. The back end then is called the ham. So again, the butt is the shoulder, the top part of the shoulder, and the back end is called the ham. It's a fresh ham when it's whole, and then again, it would be broken into a sub-fabricated cut for the hams, the spiral hams, the football-shaped hams, things that we see. You'll see the belly runs along the belly. This is where bacon will come from. There's also a lot of ribs found in the loin section, as well as some found from the top of this belly portion. But a large piece right here that is usually brined, seasoned, and then going to be smoked and turned into what we know and use as bacon. Here is another cut sheet for you, identifying different pork cuts. So again, from the loin, here's your country style ribs, your sirloin top roast, a ribeye pork chop they're marketing as, sirloin pork chops. There's a lot of different products here that you'll find. Shoulder, the shoulder blade, as well as a lot of sausage and ground pork coming out of that. From the leg here, you'll have the ham, and it's calling it the leg in this picture. Realize it called it the ham, and then the butt in the diagram that we had before. Please follow the diagram in your textbook and that I provided rather than this one on this sheet here. You'll see there's the spare ribs and the short ribs. That's coming from, again, this belly section, even though it's listed as side. The picnic shoulder roast, that is where it's coming from, this shoulder area down here. And here are a couple dishes for us in regards to pork cookery. On the top left will be your ribs. Again, you can't talk about pork without talking about barbecue ribs. On the bottom left are some pork chops, bone-in pork chops. You can see they've been grilled. Again, this meat, a high heat cookery, dry heat cookery, works well for it in the loin area. For the ribs, more of a moist heat, long-term cooking. You have a picture of a ham at the top center. Again, this is one that's going to be cured, penetrating a lot of extra sodium in there to preserve it, and again to give it that flavor. In the middle, of course, I had to include bacon, as well as on the bottom here. This is going to be your cured Italian meat. So you have prosciutto, you have capricola soppressata. On the top right, this is a picture of the pork tenderloin. I specifically picked this picture to show you that pork does not need to be cooked until it is completely done and dried out. Pork should be cooked to a minimum internal temperature of 145 degrees Fahrenheit. On the bottom right, I included a picture here of pulled pork. and this would come from the shoulder or the butt end of the hog. It has a lot of connective tissue going through it. It needs moist heat cookery, long and slow. Again, looking forward to including pork cookery in our lab.